So first of all, in security review, you can work with a concept of projects. You can create projects. And once you create projects, you can essentially start using those projects to run security design reviews as part of those projects. Now, a project can be an application, it can be a group of application, it can be a group of microservices, it can be anything you define as a scope for a particular project. Now, in this case, we're going to be looking at a project called Acme Expense Management System. It's a fictional expense management system that allows a company to register expense reports from their employees. And then once their employees are done with these expense reports, they file them, project manager approves them, then they're paid out once it synchronizes with an ERP. So that's how it works. Now, this is a report that most of us have used. So it's a very common type of application that you'll see. Of course, it can be common, it can be very specific, it can be anything. A project can literally be anything. Now, once you get into the project, you will see that you can start integrating security review with multiple tools. One of the things that was a defining feature for us in security review was the ability to integrate with different tools. Now, this is very important to us simply because your product documentation lies in multiple places. It lies in GitHub repositories, it lies in Confluence, in Jira, in Slack, in Teams, in Google Docs, all over the place. So you can literally connect to any one of these sources in our platform and you can start working with security review, which means that you can start pulling in data from multiple places and start working with it without having to create any new artifacts on the platform itself, which is a huge change from the typical, because most of the time you need to create a whole bunch of artifacts for you to even start threat modeling. And that's a huge problem because a lot of times you don't know what there is, you don't know what kind of data that exists. You have to do a bunch of interviews with a bunch of people, it takes a lot of time. And that's why this is a big thing that we wanted to add, which is integrating with multiple tools to be able to serve as input for our security review. On top of that, you can even use unstructured data like voice. You can literally upload a recording from a meeting and you can use that as the basis for your security design review. So let's say you've had an architecture meeting with a bunch of your architects discussing some features of your product. You can literally use that to do your security design review. That's really that simple. So once you have your integration set up, in this case, what I've done is I've connected a Confluence space in this particular case. You can also start connecting other sources like so. And remember, security review is meant to be deployed on-prem and on your private cloud, which means that this data never leaves your environment at any given point in time. We are not a SaaS platform. We are focused on you having access to your data within your environment where you're comfortable. You can literally connect any of these tools to your security review and you can get started. So it could be any of these tools, and we always keep adding newer integrations. So newer integrations keep popping up in the tool. So one of the things you can do with security review is basically start to integrate with multiple document and document sources like you see here. So for instance, in our case, we have most of our product documentation in Confluence. So I can pull documents from Confluence very quickly. I can literally use the API and we have integrations with multiple tools, including Confluence, Jira, Google Docs, and so on. So let's say I want to pull in one of the PRDs from here, which is our requirement documentation for one of our products. So I can literally pull in one of those PRDs and this literally get started with using that as part of this. So I can click the link here and I can say there's a Confluence document. I can go by URL and I can enter the URL. And once this is done, what this does is that it pulls it into security review using our RAG pipeline, right? Our RAG pipeline optimizes this for it to be analyzed as part of a security design review. And not just that, we also provide detailed evaluations of each document. So for instance, this document has been analyzed, and if you look at the evaluation, you'll see how ready that document is from a security design review perspective. So it actually tells you that, yeah, this document has some good stuff, some not so good stuff, and it tells you where it's potentially weak and where it's potentially strong, so that you can actually make a more educated decision on what you need to be doing with that particular document, right? So this is something that you can do. So it not only has the ability to consume documents which are optimized for AI retrieval, It also gives you evaluation that can tell you how good or bad your document is for it to be consumed by AI. Now, document doesn't always just have to be Confluence. It can be uploaded documents that you can upload, PDF, docx, txt, markdown. You can upload voice files, as I mentioned. You can also, of course, upload diagrams of whatever system that you're dealing with. And as you enable integrations like Jira and so on, you'll get to see more of these integrations show up when you're creating a new document.